So we've been talking about some of the problems in some of my past videos with the systems that make it really difficult to trust ourselves, to have a good relationship with food and body. Now I want to talk a little bit about how to start to disrupt some of the consequences of that, some of the thought patterns that happen, some of the ways that insecure attachment happens with food and body. I'm Tiffany North. I help people heal their relationship with food and body using attachment theory. And this is something that I'm really passionate about and I really love. And in my client sessions, this is one of the biggest things that we end up doing, is really working on those thought patterns, those patterns that really trigger our thoughts around or activate our thoughts around there's something wrong with me. So here we go. In my last couple of videos, I've been talking about the way that the systems around us, the culture, the current kind of climate, how they influence our relationship with food and body and how they can bring up body grief. They can cause this rupture with ourselves. So this is really called an attachment rupture. It could also just be called trauma. But basically those things cause us to think that we're not good enough. And when we think that we're not good enough, we then want to try to separate from our body. We want to try to change it, fix it, control it, contort it, fit into the box. And so working on a secure relationship with food, your body, yourself means accepting your body as it is, accepting your abilities, your looks, your body's needs. And instead of trying to fix, control, manage, we're trying to tend to our bodies. We're trying to listen to our bodies, trust our bodies, and recognize that our body is doing everything that it can to keep us alive. None of the things that culture says makes us less than. So now I want to talk a little bit more about what's secure attachment with food and body. So those systems, those messages create this insecure attachment with ourselves and our body, which tells us like, oh, there's something wrong with me. And then we tend to either fixate on our body, try to control, manage it, or we sort of like ignore everything, head in the sand, become more avoidant. So it creates this insecure attachment. What we want to focus on instead is building that secure attachment. And the way that we do that is examining those messages that we have in our bodies, right? In our brains. We want to recognize like, who profits from that? What is the goal of that message? And a lot of times it's to induce shame, right? Inducing shame keeps us small and disconnected and preoccupied. So we want to look at those things and really start to flip them around. What's probably happening for you is that you'll have like this feeling of like, oh gosh, I am having all this shame, and you may not recognize it. It might be a thought, oh, what's wrong with you? Or you look terrible, or you need to lose weight, or you just never have your shit together, or you're lazy, right? So it could be any of those kinds of messages. Nobody's going to believe you. You're just making this up. And when we have thoughts like that, we want to notice them. This is happening in like split seconds, right? So you have that thought, you have the tension. Well, first you probably have the tension in your body, then you have the thought. And then you're going to instantly go into like a shame spiral. And then you're going to try to come out of that either by disconnecting from your body or by doing some of the things I talked about before. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to start running. I'm going to, I'm really going to get my shit together, whatever it is, right? And so we try to go into fix it mode, or again, we disconnect and become more avoidant. But if we can become aware of those thoughts and those feelings, we can be with our body, the sensation that's happening. We can get curious about what's bringing this up. We can really think about, is that accurate? Is that aligned with my values? Do I actually believe that? It's probably not. I'm guessing that your value is that, everybody deserves to be treated with love and respect and care, regardless of, how they look, what kind of work they do. And maybe not. You might need to look at your values, because if your values are that everybody's sort of ranked on this system, that's going to be really difficult to dismantle. So we got to look at our morals and our values here. And then we want to start to recognize, like, where did I hear that? Is there something in my past that has ingrained that in me? And again, do I actually believe that? Do I want to believe that? Do I think that's right? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. And so we want to replace those thoughts. They're called automatic negative thoughts. We want to replace those thoughts with something new. It's possible that this isn't true about me. It's possible that my value and worth is constant, inherent, non-negotiable. It's possible that somebody wants me to spend a bunch of money trying to change my body. It's possible that, and the reason I say is it's possible that is because if you say, oh, I'm great just exactly as I am, but you don't believe that, that's going to create a fight in your brain. It's going to distract from what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is disrupt those thoughts that are automatic, negative, and cause shame spiral and cause us to then act in a way that's adding harm to our body rather than adding this more secure, caring, tender relationship. So that's one of the things that we can start to do. The other things that we can start to do is notice I always start to get really preoccupied about going on a diet before I go to work on Monday, for example. What's happening at work that I'm having this much anxiety? Do I feel judged? Do I not fit in the chair? My coworkers are always talking about dieting. Am I watching people, eat their diet food, whatever it is? So we want to really start to notice the patterns and when these thoughts come up, when this shame is induced. Spend some time with it. So curiosity and compassion are going to be really key in starting to move toward that secure attachment with food and body. It's not only giving your message to the body of I hear you and I'm listening and I'm curious about how to take care of you, but it's also helping you to start to disrupt those patterns that are so ingrained and so automatic. And that's how we move towards secure attachment with food and body. Be sure to subscribe if you want more information about becoming securely attached with food, your body, and yourself.